Alright everyone, link in the description, archived of course. I'm going to go through the potato analogy again, so for those of you who like that, keeping that in mind. Critical race theory has effectively in the United States has been defeated. It's currently spreading to Missouri's school system. That's part of this article here. But they have to strip the name critical race theory out of it. The problem is that people have noticed that you're essentially taking the same thing and just giving it a different label. So now they're calling it equity. This is the third time they've tried to relabel critical race theory. No, it's just racial justice education. No, it's just equity, etc., etc. As I said before, there's a very real, very simple way to illustrate this for people who don't understand or have been fooled by leftoid propaganda. When they say, no, this curriculum isn't critical race theory, like that's not even, that word's never mentioned. Just tell them that if you describe a potato and a pomme de terre, and you start describing, you've labeled them different things. They mean the same thing. The descriptions will be the same. No matter what you call that potato, you can call it a ham sandwich, you can call it an automobile. Once you start describing the nature of the thing, it remains a potato. You have simply used Newspeak. This is something that they should be reading 1984, I suppose. I'm assuming a lot of these people have neglected that in their curriculum. I wouldn't be surprised if that was done for racial justice purposes. Well, we need less white authors in the curriculum. I think we can do without Orwell. I think we can do without Huxley. I think we can do without some of these other... we don't need that Mark Twain son of a bitch because, you know, he used the N-word, so clearly he's a virulent racist. They do this constantly. No, we don't need to read Animal Farm. No, that's scary. But equity is the new term they're trying to foist on people. So in the Missouri, in the dust-up that's beginning there with their curriculum, people are noticing, hey, this sounds an awful lot like that critical race theory stuff, because that's what it is. They're just terming it equity. It's racial equity. It's justice. It's justice to teach you reparations. It's justice to teach you effectively racialized Marxism. Look through the fucking curriculum and you'll see the overlap. It's the same thing. This is a common trait of Marxism. Marxism will often play word games in order to get the ideology, but it doesn't matter what you call it. It's the same ideology. So communists are more than happy to not use the term communist to describe themselves, at least until they have totalitarian levels of power, of course. Then they're more honest about things. They'll call themselves socialists or social democrats. Oh no, I'm just a standard liberal. No, I'm just a free thinker. Well, that's not really what you are. The ideology that you follow is communism. Though many other people in the world are this disingenuous. A lot of people, there are conservatives who treat the term conservative like a dirty word. There are liberals that do the same thing. Calling someone a liberal 15 years ago, even if they clearly were, they're, no, I'm not a liberal. I just believe in a little bit more welfare. And I think that it should, I don't want to tax the poor more. I just want to tax the rich marginally more. And I want more solar panels and more sushi at the local diner. That's what they would say. They would avoid that term because to them it was basically the same as pinko or commie. Equity and critical race theory are the same thing. Now, the actual pure term equity doesn't. Has nothing to do with it. We're talking about a fair society. We're talking about making sure people have an equitable chance at things. Essentially equality of possibility as opposed to equality of outcome, which would be more communistic. But that's not what the term is used to represent when you are describing the things that are in this curriculum. Those are not equity. They are critical race theory. Critical race theory is a self-refuting, partially Marxist-derived system, which is effectively communism if you remove class struggle and insert racial struggle. Potato, pomme de terre, art apple, root crop that needs a lot of fucking potassium, or was it phosphate actually, I think, grows in the ground and killed a bunch of Irish people when it got diseased back in the 1800s. Doesn't matter. Once you start describing what it is, well, it's dirty. It's trying to grow in a dark closet at the moment because I left it there too long. Starchy. You can make pancakes out of it. Potato pancakes, by the way, delicious. You can boil it. You can fry it. It's really good fried. Maybe add some fucking sausage on the side. You can use it for breakfast. You can use it for lunch. You can use it for anything. Turn it into salad. Throw it at people. Once you start describing the nature of the thing, you see that it's the same. If you were to describe, for instance, fucking literally anything under the sun. If you're trying to say man versus male, okay, you're using vaguely different terms for the same thing. Woman versus lady. Well, there's some connotations for lady that are cultural, but ultimately you're speaking about basically the same thing. One is just more cohesive than the other. One is more of a system or an idea. The other one's a little bit more discrete. The difference between the equity label in this particular curriculum and the notions of critical race theory as a unified field of hypotheses is the only real difference here. It's just you've taken a few things out of it and you've incorporated them into the curriculum and you got them from critical race theory. You didn't get them from anywhere else. Why else would you be reading works by people who endorse critical race theory and are talking about them in their works? No. We're not communists. Yeah, we love Mao's Little Red Book and we live in communes and stuff, but hey, we don't believe in everything being free at the point of service or something else. We're moderately less statist. The leftoids do this all the time. Like when Venezuela looked like it was going to collapse, they started saying, oh, no, it's not really a socialist country. Here's the top 3 reasons why it deviates from what other specific socialists have done. Therefore, it has to be capitalistic, and capitalism is responsible for the problems. Of course, then they devolved usually into saying, no, okay. Maybe they were socialists, but the CIA is really responsible. It was sabotage. It's word games. It's linguistic propaganda. It's newspeak, and people need to understand this because then you can combat it more easily. Thankfully, a lot of people do. Hell, I think something like 700 copies of my little Debunking Critical Race Theory booklet have sold just this month already on Amazon. The sales are actually rising further. I'm beginning to think that it's going to be one of my best sellers of all time, based on the fact that it's a current topic. By the way, you should get copies of it. Donate one to your library and make sure to wave it around and tell people how great it is. Yours truly would be very thankful. And you're helping to fight communism. That's about all. Peace out.